Hello and welcome to Gardening with Ben podcast for today. Welcome to a new week of podcasts. This is episode number 8. I didn't think I'd get this far, but yes, episode number 8. So today we're going to be looking at more gardening tips for November, as we shared a few the other day about what you can do in the flower garden, fruit garden and vegetable garden, but we're going to be looking at other tips what you can use in the garden at this time of year. And as a keen gardener myself, it's always good to find new tips and advice and share them with other people. So that's what we're doing today. I hope you're enjoying the episodes, so make sure you click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all my new episodes, and yeah, feel free to share them as well. So let's get on with number 8. So this month you need to be looking at protecting and helping the garden so that it doesn't get flood damaged or damaged from all the rain and bad weather and the frosts. So you need to make sure that if you've got any outdoor pots and stuff that may be prone to getting frost damage, you can put some bubble wrap around the tops of the pots and put them in a greenhouse to keep them warm, keep them safe away from the frost. And also, if you've got plant pots and they're not on feet what hold them off the ground, put them on top of some bricks, as this will stop them from getting waterlogged, as from all the rain what comes down, sometimes it's too hard for the pot to get rid of the water fast enough, and it will end up rotting the roots in the pots. So make sure they're off the ground so that the water can seep away easy enough. One thing that you do need to do in the winter time is you need to be looking after the birds in the garden, as there's not as much food around at this time of year. Obviously when it snows and stuff, the birds can't get to the worms as easy. So make sure you put your bird feeders up and put some high fat foods in the bird feeders, as this will help them keep insulated through the winter and survive through the winter months. And also make sure that your bird baths have always got fresh water in them and that it's not frozen over as well, as birds need to obviously get their drinks of water and have a good splash around as well. So yeah, make sure you do that. If you haven't heard already, the place where I'm recording these podcasts is an app called Anchor, and it's totally free. They also put your podcasts on multiple platforms like Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts. Straight away, you can also schedule the time that you want it to go on, which is fantastic. There's also creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer, so you can record your podcast literally anywhere you want. You can also make money from your podcasts as well, with no minimum listenership whatsoever. So the more times it gets played, the more times you can earn money from it. And there's everything you need to make your podcast all in one place. So if you download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm, you can get started with your free podcasts. So one main thing that you need to be doing in your garden right now is that if you've got a greenhouse, you need to be making sure that it's structurally safe, that all the glass is not loose. Make sure all the clips are in place. If you've got any cracked pieces of glass in there, make sure that they're taped up so that if the wind gets to them, it won't smash them everywhere. And this is obviously to prevent damage to your greenhouse in the winter. I've seen so many pictures in groups online where greenhouses have been absolutely smashed to smithereens from the wind, and they've just bent and buckled. So make sure they're screwed down to the ground really well so that they won't just blow over and crumble, as they're not cheap to replace greenhouses. Obviously the glass is not cheap, and the greenhouse obviously is what you need, and you don't want that getting damaged in the winter months when you've been needing it in the springtime. So make sure your greenhouse is structurally strong and all the glass is safe inside it. Now, if you've not got a compost heap, now is the time to be building one, really, as there are absolutely loads of leaves around in the garden. And basically, a lot of people call these liquid gold because the leaf mulch will help grow vegetables so well, and fruit and flowers. So if you go around collecting all the leaves up, put them into a compost bin, and they'll be rotted down within 2 years. So yeah, save as many leaves as possible. Sweep the streets if you need to, but investing in a compost bin or building your own, you will have so much compost if you save all the leaves up for your garden. If you've not got a greenhouse, why not think about making a cold frame? As a cold frame is obviously not as big as a greenhouse, but you can build the cold frame to the size that you want. You can either use glass or perspex, and you can insulate it as well with bubble wrap, just to keep it that little bit warmer. And then you can put some of your delicate plants inside there, like your geraniums, your potted plants, so that then next year they'll be still alive and strong enough to grow next year. If you've got a pond, the best thing to do around now is to net it over, as obviously all the leaves are falling down, and you won't want all the leaves falling into your pond. So make sure you net it over and cover it so that all them leaves don't fall in it and cause disease and affect the wildlife what's in the pond. So if you are growing delicate plants outside at this time of year, now is obviously the perfect time to be digging those up, those geraniums, potting them up, putting them in a polytunnel greenhouse cold frame, and keeping them warm for next year, as the frosts will start to come. We've not had frost yet here in Sheffield where I am, but yeah, the frost will start to come soon. So make sure you potted them up and put them to safety so that they're all alright. Now, if you've got a greenhouse, what you need to be doing at this time of year is make sure that you wash it down and disinfect it all and clean it all. Make sure there's no moss growing, that all the glass, all your staging, what you've got up, your metal staging, that it's all being thoroughly cleaned down and it's all smelling fresh and looking fresh. As obviously, if there's been any diseases through the year from your tomato plants or stuff like that, it will kill them off and it will all be nice and fresh and safe to grow plants in again next year. Also, a fancy thing what you can do is, if you've got a greenhouse and you've still got plants in it and you still want to be going in there at night and checking on your plants, why not install some solar lights so that obviously they come on at night and you can easily see what's happening in the greenhouse. Plus it'll light your greenhouse up and it'll look fantastic at the bottom of your garden, and they're cheap enough to buy, so why not try installing some solar lights? If you've got some compost what you've used for all your tomato plants, your cucumber plants, or in your pots what you've used this year and they've now died off, put that compost in your garden and put it into the beds. It will help nurture the garden and it'll make use of it, and it'll help with the drainage in the soil and improve the conditions of it as well. So reuse that compost, put it into the garden, and it will improve your beds. And compost will make it look nicer as well as when it mixes in with the soil. So repurpose all that compost you've got. So this has been a short little episode today. I hope you've enjoyed it. remember to click that subscribe button, and if you're not following me on social media, check me out on Facebook, Instagram and YouTube, Gardening with Ben. Stay up to date with all my projects, what I'm doing down on the allotment. Thanks for listening, and remember, keep gardening.